I dag, der skal vi se på, hvordan EA ødelagde FIFA. Lad os komme i gang!
FIFA is a franchise that has solidified its position in the gaming industry as one of the most successful franchises ever.
Facts!
It has been one of EA's best-selling games.
Det er også det, man skal også lige huske, at EA ikke, altså sådan, det er jo ikke kun FIFA, men jeg er ret sikker på, at deres indtjening, sådan 80% af deres indtjening, 90% tror jeg det var, det kommer faktisk gennem FIFA.
Decades and the golden boy that could never do no wrong, no matter how bad the game actually was.
Ja, POV os alle sammen i weekenden.
Made YouTube gaming so big back in the 2010s and gained even more popularity because of YouTubers like KSI, the FIFA player, and many more who were uploading videos covering the game. Football is the
legit, altså, det kan jo stille have haft en positiv påvirkning, men for EA er nok positiv påvirkning, det her med, at YouTuber har sat og åbnet packs, åbnet en masse packs, så sidder man derhjemme, og med det samme, man selv kan gribe chancen, så vil jeg da også gerne åbne nogle packs. Og så ender man med at købe points. Førhen var det coins, og så måtte man ikke det længere, så køber man bare en masse points.
Sport in the world, with an estimate of 4 billion fans globally, meaning that there is always going to be a large interest in football games, whether that be FIFA or PES. It's a game that many people play religiously when growing up, and have fond memories of the franchise.
That was one amazing.
Bro, jeg sværger, hvis der er en af jer, der sådan har spolet hen til det her moment, og tænker, Matt, hvordan er vi endt her? Jeg ved det heller ikke selv, men vi er her.
Whether that was playing wagers on Ultimate Team, or simply playing against your mates in kickoff, or even pro clubs. They are memories that I'm sure many people out there will always remember.
Det er jo forskelligt fra person til person, hvorfor man også køber FIFA.
Never going to fall off. There was always going to be this game that everyone looks forward to playing every year, and with better game engines and resources, it was only going to get better going forward. So how did EA's biggest cash cow end up getting killed by EA themselves?
Okay.
To better understand FIFA's downfall,
jeg vil sige sådan, det kommer an på downfall, fordi jeg tror sådan, tonen omkring FIFA er der et downfall, men jeg tror oprigtigt, at deres indtjening, den kommer blive bedre og bedre år for år, fordi de jo bare bliver ved med at spække flere og flere promopacks ud i FIFA, så jeg tror ikke ligefrem, at de tænker, at de har et downfall, men selvfølgelig tonen på det er nedadgående, og skulle der lige pludselig komme et spil, et fodboldspil, som rent faktisk bare fungerer en lille smule. Det der, hvor jeg tror, de kommer til at mærke det. Hvornår det spil så kommer, det har næsten lyst til at sige aldrig. Vi har set så mange eksempler på det med både PES, UFC, eller hvad det hedder, det seneste kommer ud. Alt af det ligner jo noget værre pis. Der er intet, der kommer til at komme tæt på EA, og det er derfor, at de chiller stadig rigtig, rigtig godt.
It's a good idea to first look at what made it so popular in the first place, and how it became such a massive cultural game. The first FIFA game came out in 1993, and was actually called FIFA International Soccer. Yes, soccer. Although everyone knows it's actually called football, not soccer, unless you're American, of course.
Wow.
From 1993 onwards, a new FIFA game was released each year. Each year, the game was improving.
Jeg skal lige se covers. Det er mit første FIFA nogensinde, som jeg sådan fik i forhold til, hvad år vi var kommet til. Vi har lige der. FIFA 10 var mit første spil, jeg fik. Jeg tror også, jeg havde noget gammel FIFA. Altså. Jeg tror, det første FIFA, jeg spillede, var FIFA 05, 06. Jeg tror 06. Jeg tror faktisk, det var det der FIFA 06. Og jeg husker det, at det var en dag, hvor jeg skulle lege sammen med en efter børnehaven. Og så spillede jeg det spil hjemme hos ham. Det er igen sådan noget, der var lige sådan, hænger fast i en, så det er ret cute.
And gameplay-wise, and did so with each new content.
I kan jo altid lige skrive i kommentarfeltet, hvilke FIFA, der var jeres første FIFA. Det kunne da være lidt sjovt at se.
However, FIFA wasn't the only football game on the market. In 2001, a new football game came out that was a direct competitor to FIFA. Pro Evolution Soccer. A game developed by Konami, which was trying to compete with FIFA, and actually succeeded at doing so. There were a few differences in both games. The major one was that PES hardly had any licenses, which meant that teams football fans were familiar with were called something else and not their actual names. Arsenal would, for example, be called North London, whereas FIFA had licenses for all the big leagues and international teams, making the experience more authentic and just offering something that players were already familiar with. FIFA's licenses increased throughout the years, and they managed to get even more licensed leagues. But even with all of this, PES 2004, 5 and 6 were all better than the FIFA version, and are regarded by many as the best PES games ever made. However, with the release of the PS3, FIFA really started to overtake PES in that race. It felt like Konami just couldn't make a great PES game on new systems like they did back on the older ones. But up to this point, FIFA was made up of 3 major modes, which were your standard kickoff, online and career mode, which I used to pour hours into. But the massive turning point for the franchise and EA was when FIFA 9 released.
FIFA 9, okay, hvad skal... Ultimate Team? Det må være Ultimate Team så, eller hvad? No? Wow, det ser lidt... Ja, det ser bare sjovt ud, det her. Godt taget, Tjek. Hoppa! Op til...
A FIFA that I believe is
Kaka?
one of the best
De går ind.
Also, how nostalgic is this player Arena with AC Milan Ronaldinho?
Oh my god,
I spent a lot
Arena.
of time in here just messing around.
It's different.
Anyway, FIFA 9 was a massive turning point for the game and is what really made FIFA the game and franchise it became. FIFA 9 introduced the all-new game mode called FIFA Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team has since become the flagship game mode for the franchise.
FIFA 10 var jo mit første spil. Jeg startede faktisk først med at spille Ultimate Team, fordi jeg aldrig forstod det. Så jeg startede først med at spille FIFA 13. Slut FIFA 13. Jeg tror først, det var FIFA 14 år, som i det rigtige første år, hvor jeg startede med sådan Road to Glory. Det var fordi i slutningen af FIFA 13 eller midt FIFA 13, det var da jeg startede med at se KSI, som så lavede Road to Glory, og så jeg det der, og så var jeg sådan, det skal jeg også gøre, men så var FIFA 14 på vej ud, og så ventede jeg lige til der.
It's the most played game mode in the game. It allows you to create a team with players from any club by either opening packs and getting players that way, or saving up coins after every game played and then buying them on the market. But it's massively evolved from then to now. So let's have a look at how much it has evolved.
Okay.
How it got worse and how EA eventually managed to kill their biggest game mode.
Spændende.
Ultimate Team in FIFA 9 wasn't actually available when the game released. It was released as a DLC later on in the life cycle of the game, which players had to pay for.
To be fair, det var sådan, jeg føler, at det der DLC-alt, det var meget sådan Call of Duty-ting. Og især sådan noget back in the days. Det var sådan meget normalt, at så skulle man købe DLC'er ved siden af spil, hvor sådan, jeg tror slet ikke, det fungerer den dag i dag. Især ikke i FIFA-verden.
Obviously, it's EA. However, not many people may know this, but Ultimate Team was trialed years earlier by EA. It was actually introduced into their UEFA Champions League 2006/2007 game as an offline game mode which followed the same system of opening packs
Havde de et spil, der var decideret Champions League? What?
Building your team. If you played Ultimate Team in FIFA 9, you would get a foot founder tag with your name, which later on became pretty iconic. And if you came up against someone who was a foot founder, you knew you were in for a tough game.
Yes, sir.
FIFA 10 also followed the same route as FIFA 9, but in FIFA 11 the game mode came a lot earlier and was free to play, and the player base exploded.
Okay.
Later on in the life cycle of FIFA 11, the ability to play against friends was also introduced, and so were Team of the Week cards, which were based off real-life performances. If a player had a good game on the weekend, he would most likely receive a Team of the Week card. This added to the authenticity and made you more engaged and connected to the game.
The
following year, in FIFA 12, Team of the Season cards were introduced, which yet again made you more connected to the real world of football, as they were cards awarded to the best players that season. Ultimate Team was developing pretty well. However, FIFA 13 and FIFA 14 were crucial for Ultimate Team. In FIFA 13, EA added FIFA points.
No! Okay. Here we go.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Which, as we know, would change the way Ultimate Team operated later on.
Yes, sir.
They also added online seasons. Online seasons were already a thing in FIFA for a few years, but never in Ultimate Team. They allowed players to climb divisions, starting from Division 5 up to Division 1, and added a good mix of casual and competitive gaming. There was a constant urge to try and climb to the highest division possible and win Division 1. In FIFA 14 we went from 5 divisions to 10 divisions, making the grind even harder.
Jeg kan godt huske, fordi FIFA 13, det var sådan meget... Det var så nemt at rykke op i første division, og så var så lidt, hvad skal der ske nu? Fordi igen, sådan, til folk, der ikke spillede der tilbage til, der var ikke noget draft, der var ikke SPC'er, der var ikke Foot Champions. Det var divisioner, ellers spiller du mod dine venner. Jeg kan faktisk, altså har der været andet? Det tror jeg ikke. Så var der single player online. Nej, der var sådan nogle guldturneringer. Der var guldturneringer, hvor du kunne vinde 2.000 coins, hvis du havde 4 kampe, altså.
For me, FIFA 13 to FIFA 17 were the prime years with FIFA.
Enig, helt facts. FIFA 13, guld værd. FIFA 14, guld værd. Også med især VM-moden om sommeren var også... FIFA 15, det voksede på mig lidt senere, der gik det op for mig, hvor godt et spil det måske var. FIFA 16 kom draft, og FIFA 17, SBC, Foot Champs for første gang, der var det også guld værd for spillet.
The game was fun, fast-paced and arcadey, but still realistic. Trading was also possible, which meant you could wager your friends for certain players or even players you met online. Trading, however, would later on be removed in FIFA 15. In these games, there wasn't
så på grund af alt det der coins, salg af coins og sådan noget, det fungerer simpelthen bare
huge emphasis on opening packs, as some silver players and gold players were just as good as some players that were rated.
Yeah.
I remember in FIFA 14 having a front three of Dumbia, Biabiani and Ibarbo. If you played the game around that time, you know just how sweaty and disgusting.
For mig er det jo folkeskoleminder, det her. Det var det, man snakker om over i klassen, at man havde Ibarbo. Ibarbo var bare sindssyg. Altså sådan, det var bare ham, og man skulle bare have Dumbia, og man skulle se, hvor god Emenike var hvert år. Siden FIFA 13, han var bare sådan næsten en af de første kort, jeg kiggede på for at se, hvilken rating har han egentlig det her år. Altså så ikonisk blev han grundet KSI.
And that attackers. I was never someone who opened packs or bought coins back then. I was always running a cheap, sweaty team, and actually managed to win Division 1 with that front three. There was a bunch of cheap options that were good, but then again, you didn't have to pack 90 rated players to make a lot of coins, as price ranges weren't a thing back then, meaning you could list players on the market for any price you wanted. The player base controlled the market, not EA. Since FIFA 13, when FIFA points were introduced, Ultimate Team has always been paid to win, and EA always wanted players to spend their money on points so they could open packs. Essentially, with FIFA points and packs, EA created a gambling game within a game. It operated just like slot machines. You put money in, open the pack, and wait for what you get.
Det er jo skræmmende. Det er jo skræmmende, at vi er i den her verden. Er det her ikke et plus free spil, eller hvad man kalder det?
However, it wasn't all that bad, because majority of people went and bought coins instead, which were a lot cheaper. It meant that you could just go out and buy players instead of trying your luck with packs. But coin providers were the catalyst for the huge changes that were about to happen to Ultimate Team. Later on in FIFA 15's life cycle, which is my personal favourite in the franchise, I actually went and won Division 1 with a full silver like Poznan team, which was still possible back then. EA removed the ability to trade players, which meant that you were no longer able to buy coins from coin providers, as that was the way of buying coins. But if that wasn't enough, EA also introduced player price ranges, which meant EA determined how much a player was worth and not the player base. For example, they would give a player like Royce a price range of 40k to 100k, whereas before he might have been worth 150k. By removing the ability to buy coins, EA were now in control of the market, and the only way to open packs was either by having enough coins saved up, or by buying FIFA points, which has been the case ever since that changed. Removing trading also removed the ability to wager people for players, which back then was one of my favourite things to do.
Jeg sidder lige og observerer, hvad der egentlig er sket. Det er egentlig derfor, jeg ikke siger så meget.
The shit talk to your friends and putting a player with 200k on the line, only to go and get humbled, is an experience I'll never forget. And obviously the famous pink slips KSI videos. Overall, the removal of trading and price ranges being put in place were major changes that were all leading up to the position the game is currently in. The next big changes came with FIFA 17. FIFA 17 changed the way Ultimate Team is going to be played forever. It went from a more casual, relaxed gaming experience to everyone trying to be the next best player in the world. This was because EA introduced FUT Champions. It was a new game mode in which players competed each week.
FIFA 17 FUT Champions. Altså bro, man gjorde alt her, ikke? Altså sådan om mandagen, du sad på Futbin, Foothead, eller hvad end det hedder. Du lavede dit hold. Du skulle planlægge hen mod weekend. Hvad gør jeg anderledes den her gang? Og hver gang det blev fredag, jeg så bare frem til, at jeg skal bare hjem fra skole. Jeg skal grind. Jeg skal se, om jeg kan gå 5-0. Hvis du går 5-0 eller 10-0, du lægger det op på Twitter. Det var det hele. Det var magisk. Det var lækkert. Det var cool værd.
To earn better rewards. It was FIFA's competitive mode and was played on Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
In FIFA 17,
og det er den ting, jeg synes, de sådan har glemt mest i løbet af årene. Det er, at det er jo meningen, at FUT Champs skal være den her, der er den competitive mode. Det er jo derfor, de ikke skal lave den mindre competitive, og derfor jeg godt kan lide, jamen selvfølgelig så kan man blive sur over, at man møder en tryhard af hver kamp, men that's the point of the game mode. Altså sådan, man kan ikke sige mere til det. Så det er egentlig det, jeg sådan har kritiseret EA for de senere år her, at jeg synes ikke, de har taget det nok seriøst, hvor det vendte de lidt tilbage med her i FC 25, at de så valgte at opdatere rewards det hen mod noget, der bare gik endnu mere nedad. De valgte jo så at ødelægge det igen. Men de havde fat i den rigtig store i starten af FC 25. Der var de sådan på vej tilbage, og så, ja, så behøver jeg faktisk ikke at nævne mere omkring det.
Actually had to play 40 games over the weekend, which is absolutely absurd.
Det var ikke bare 40 kampe, bro. Det var 40 kampe inden for 48 timer, tror jeg det var. Helt absurd jo. Altså sådan, jeg har aldrig oplevet noget lignende, hvordan man skulle spille 40 kampe inden for, jeg tror det var fredag morgen, eller fredag aften klokken 7 eller klokken 5 eller sådan noget lignende, til søndag morgen klokken 6. Eller så, altså sådan, du havde aften, fredag, og så havde du hele lørdag. That's it. De ændrede det efter 2 uger, tror jeg der er. 2 eller 3 uger, så vi nåede lige at få sådan en lille smag af det, men lige de 2 uger, det var tough.
You basically had to no-life the game for the whole weekend in order to get absolute garbage rewards anyway. It created a system in the game and franchise.
En anden ting, der faktisk også var huge i FIFA 17, walkouts. Walkouts ændrede også så meget for packs, så det respekter jeg også lige af EA. Det var en fed feature.
If you now wanted to be able to compete with other players, you had to no-life 40 games on the weekend just to be able to compete. These modes also got extremely sweaty and even sweatier with each FIFA going forward.
Yeah.
It made the game feel extremely boring, and a lot of people just gave up on it altogether. The rewards were simply not good enough.
Det gjorde jeg ikke. Jeg skulle bare blive den bedste.
However, but champions weren't the only new major additions to the franchise in FIFA 17.
SBCs
were also introduced, which offered a new way of obtaining special player cards and packs. You had to complete squad building challenges.
Krauses nøglekamp-videoer en gang om ugen. It's different.
With each one having different requirements to complete them. This was a welcome addition and actually a good new way to get players.
Ja, det var også igen en fed feature.
Budget players and some expensive high-rated players that you could slowly work your way towards. Although this was a good addition, it did also introduce the untradable players feature, which has only gotten worse over the last 2 FIFA games.
Yep.
FIFA 15 and FIFA 17 I think are the 2 major FIFAs that changed FIFA forever, and the changes implemented in them games really...
Price range FIFA 15 og selvfølgelig FIFA 17 med Foot Champs, SBC og alt det der nu blev addet, walkouts.
Shaped FIFA into the mess it is today. So from FIFA 17 to FIFA 22, the game didn't really receive any major changes apart from the amount of games being played on Foot Champs being reduced from 40 games down to 30. Each year the game was somewhat worse too.
Og vi er nede på 15. Jamen, altså sådan, overvej det ikke. Du har en game mode. Hvor ofte har man set det i et sådan seriøst spil, at du går legit fra 40 kampe til 15? Altså, det er jo været 60% nedgradering i forhold til, hvad du skulle have spillet førhen. Altså, dermed på CS er jo selvfølgelig også gået ned til, at det kræver, er det 12 runder eller 13 runder for at vinde nu, kontra 16 runder, som det var i CSGO. Jeg føler bare ikke, det er et lige så stort move, som at gå fra 40 til 15 kampe. Altså, det er insane, synes jeg.
The gameplay was feeling a lot slower, with each game having a broken game mechanic.
Yeah.
EA were opting for the more realistic approach rather than the fun one, which is what made the previous games so much more fun to play. Adding new animations into the game each year somehow made the game worse too. And of course, with each year, they focused more on monetization and getting people to buy more FIFA points.
It's big for me. Just give me my money. Just give me my money.
Yep.
More special cards were being put into the game. The rewards in Foot Champs and Rivals still weren't good enough, and people who would win all of...
When did it all go wrong? Hvornår begyndte de egentlig at være så tryhard med promos? Jeg kan slet ikke huske det, fordi... Altså i år for eksempel, ikke? Du får jo vitterligt en ny promo, enten hver uge eller hver anden uge. Og det gjorde man også sidste år, og jamen, jeg kan ikke helt huske, hvor var det egentlig, vi sådan gik sådan helt galt i den? Var det FIFA 20? Var det FIFA 19? Var det FIFA 21? Jeg kan ikke huske det. Jeg kan oprigtigt ikke huske, hvilket år, hvor vi begyndte at få nærmest en ny promo hver uge. Altså, hvornår det begyndte at gå så galt, som det har gjort nu.
With their 30 games would a lot of the time pack worse players from their rewards than someone who maybe won 20 games. The system was really unfair and simply broken. The monetization got really bad in FIFA 23. The amount of packs being put into the store was absurd.
Okay, så det var FIFA 23. I guess.
Whereas before you would only see promo packs on Fridays where a promo event was out, now they were available all week long. And what made it worse was that they heavily increased the prices of these packs. You can now buy packs for 500k, 200k and other prices.
Altså hvis du havde sagt det til KSI og Road to Shore og muligt FIFA 13, FIFA 14, de havde tænkt no chance. Prøv lige at se, hvad vi kigger på lige nu. 500k pack, 200k pack, 135k pack og 100k pack. Jeg tror lige nu i storen er der sikkert 20 plus promo packs, der bare ligger der, som man kan åbne, hvis man vil. Som sikkert går helt op og koster 500k, 750k eller sådan noget lignende. Det er ikke unormalt.
But the worst part of it was that a lot of the items in those packs were actually untradable. So let's say you pack an inform Mbappe who is worth over 1 mil. You won't be able to sell him and improve your team as a whole. Many people may not see this as a problem, but for me it's another way of EA just controlling the market and stopping players from gaining coins. Ultimately making Foot Champs and Rivals being the only other viable option to make coins and improve your team. And even then, the rewards still weren't great. Like I said, the system wasn't fair and didn't reward the better players. I know some people may argue that you could easily make coins from sniping and other market methods.
Trading? Yeah.
However, the majority of players don't want to do that. But it couldn't get any worse, could it? Well, the next and newest installment in the franchise, which is called EA FC 24. What a terrible name, by the way.
Ja, jeg vil sige, det groede på mig. Altså, FIFA vil altid være sådan, og skulle kalde det FIFA 17, FIFA 18, FIFA 19, og hvis det hed FIFA 24. Hvilket lyder helt mærkeligt at sige nu, fordi man bruger det jo ikke. Prøv at overveje, vi siger jo ikke FIFA 25, FIFA 24. Sådan, fordi det har vi jo været vant til ikke at skulle sige. Men jeg synes faktisk at kalde det FC, det synes jeg ikke er så slemt. Og FC 24, FC 25, synes det ligger ret godt i munden, som man jo vil sige.
I'm just gonna call it FIFA 24.
No.
Somehow
okay.
It managed to make the game even worse. The gameplay felt slow and worse than ever. Dribbling didn't feel responsive and players just didn't feel right. The gameplay experience was seriously lacking, and of course we had another broken mechanic in the game, which was the Trivela. However,
yes,
from the first few weeks, the store was already being filled with stupid packs. That trend only continued, and the game was already available to buy for 50% off a month later, which was never the case before. People hated the game and the approach EA took with how they managed the whole store situation. The game had and still has major issues when it comes to gameplay, yet they do nothing about it, but instead choose to pump new packs into the store weekly. The game has seen a massive drop in players, which I think can be accounted to the way the game is being managed. The major emphasis and focus on pushing more packs into the store and ignoring the glaring problems the game has that ultimately ruin the gameplay experience for a lot of the players. Having so many packs and introducing so many good high rated cards into the game really early on is also what hurt the game. It became oversaturated with good players.
Yep.
Before I sum all of this up, I want to say that I've played FIFA since FIFA 6 and have played every FIFA since, religiously playing it from FIFA 11 to FIFA 18. I still played FIFA 19 and all the newer ones, just not as much as I previously did.
Oh,
and I also know I didn't mention some other things that have been introduced into the franchise, but I missed them out because I don't feel like they added anything to the point I'm trying to make with this video. So to sum it all up, EA had a great football game on their hands, a game enjoyed by millions of people around the world, kids and adults alike, a game that prioritised fun and offered a good amount of authenticity. However, ruined the fun and casual aspect with the introduction of division rivals and foot champs, and also taking away trading, which then also...
Problemet er jo lidt, Hammers take føler generelt er, at FIFA har ødelagt spillet grundet, at de godt vil gå den competitive vej, hvor det synes jeg bare ikke at sige. Nej, det er i hvert fald det, der lyder som lige nu, hvor der er jeg ret uenig, at jeg føler, at netop at gå den competitive vej også kan være vejen, hvis man har noget, som også er lavet for hyggens skyld, som for eksempel SBC'er, draft og sådan noget lignende, eller normale venskabskampe, eller alle de der form for hygge-game modes. Volta, er det ikke Volta, det hedder? Jeg kan ikke huske, hvad det hedder længere. Så lige på det aspekt er jeg så lidt uenig. Jeg føler faktisk, Foot Champs var med til at faktisk tage FIFA til et endnu højere niveau, men det var selvfølgelig også i en tid, hvor jeg godt kunne lide at compete. Så det giver måske også mening, det kommer fra mig i forhold til ham, som måske bare sidder og hygger med.
So impacted the transition into the heavy promotion of packs and FIFA points, which made the game more pay to win than ever. Not fixing the gameplay issues, but instead focusing more on promo events to make more money out of people. Now, FIFA and EA isn't the only game to do this, however it can be argued that they were one of the pioneers for this system. NBA 2K is just as bad, if not worse in that regard. FIFA will always hold a special place in my heart with the memories I have over so many years. Playing with my brother in FIFA 6 and constantly losing is what made me fall in love with the game. I was always trying to get better so I could find...
Hvad fuck er det her for... Hvad er det her for FIFA? Er det FIFA 15?
All the memories I have of playing Ultimate Team and FIFA...
Eller hvad? Jeg kan slet ikke genkende det. Er det FIFA 15?
And FIFA 15 with silver players and wagering my friends. All the memories I made playing pro clubs with my friends for hours on end. It's a franchise that I will always love.
Måske? Nej, FIFA 15, jeg kan se det derovre. Nå, okay, fair nok.
But that doesn't mean I can't recognize what's happened to it. It's a shame it's no longer the game many of us loved, and maybe it will never be that again. Or maybe we're enslaved by nostalgia and need to learn to appreciate what we have. Personally, I can't see myself playing Ultimate Team as much as I used to, or even playing it ever again, because I simply lost the urge to play it.
Yeah.
I do think that EA are to blame, but also the consumers to a certain extent. People keep buying packs and playing these games, which makes EA more money. If EA saw that they weren't making as much money as they had hoped to, maybe things would change. Even though I don't play the game anymore, I still want the people that do play it to have a great fun experience like I did 10 years ago.
Enig.
If you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say that I appreciate you taking the time out of your...
Jamen, opsummering på det hele. Jeg synes, der er mange fine pointer med det hele. Og jeg tror egentlig også, jeg ligger så lidt i samme båd. Der er simpelthen for mange promos, der gør det for uoverskueligt. Der er for mange ting, de burde have fokuseret på at få ændret, som de bare ikke får ændret. Og det har bare været sådan mange år i streg. Og så føler jeg, at nu er vi faktisk henne, hvor at det har været de sidste par FIFA'er, især hvor at det er som om snoren bliver kortere og kortere for folk derude, jer derude, der måske ser den her video. At man er virkelig, virkelig hyped i en måned omkring FIFA, og så falder det ned. Og sådan har det i hvert fald været for mig de sidste par år. Jeg tror nærmest helt tilbage til FIFA 22, hvis ikke længere tilbage. Længere tilbage var jeg pro-spiller, så der fokuserede jeg faktisk stadig ret meget på spillet. Men førhen, der sad vi i den situation, hvor vi sådan lidt, at vi godt vidste, at om i marts, der går spillet dødt. Nu er det ikke unormalt, hvis spillet det siger, altså det rører ned og rammer bunden efter en måned. En måned af et spil, der skal være ude i 12 måneder. Det er fuldstændig absurd. Ja, og det er jo også derfor, I begynder at se lidt mere fodboldrelateret content også på den her kanal. Det er jo fordi, at jeg har fundet ud af, at på den lange bane, der kan jeg ikke have en FIFA-kanal længere. Desværre. Jo, en snak til en helt anden dag. Lige for nu, der handler det bare om, at jeg gerne vil uploade videoer stadig. Og derfor så jeg en god mulighed, at jeg begyndte at uploade nogen form for de her type videoer, eller de videoer, jeg har uploadet de seneste par dage. Alle vi skulle se, at I har taget godt imod det, og I tager i hvert fald mindst lige så godt imod det, som I har gjort med FIFA. Så jeg kan simpelthen ikke se nogen grund til, hvorfor man ikke bygger sig væk fra det. Men ja, lige for nu, der er det svært at se, at det går den anden vej. Det er svært at se, at vi kommer tilbage til det, vi engang havde. Nogle af os, der i hvert fald spillede det. Der er måske nogle af jer, der er vokset op med, hvordan spillet er lige nu. Og jeg håber der en dag, at de får et wake-up call. Jeg håber en dag, der kommer et andet spil ind, som ligesom går ind og takler EA på det her. Men lad mig høre jeres tanker ned i kommentarfeltet. Hvordan kan EA egentlig fikse FIFA generelt og redde det her spil, som vi alle elskede så meget for mange år tilbage nu efterhånden? Det kan jeg godt at høre ned i kommentarfeltet. Det er jeg lidt spændt på at høre. Men ellers, så tak fordi I gad så med. Smid endelig et like. Subscribe selvfølgelig for mere form for fodboldrelateret content. Og ses bare i næste video. Peace!